The CMA has screwed Xbox and blocked their purchase of Activision. We got the Don, we got the crowd pleaser, and we got me, Desert Eagle. We're gonna talk all about it. So let's get to it. Okay, so the CMA has blocked the Xbox purchase of Activision just a couple of days ago. Their reasoning for it came out of nowhere. You know, they just recently admitted that Sony's complaint about the Xbox purchasing the Activision was gonna block a whole bunch of games, including, most importantly, Call of Duty from ever being on PlayStation again. You know, CMA finally admitted it, that there was no evidence that that was ever gonna happen, and that they were most likely going to allow Xbox to purchase Activision in the UK specifically. Then suddenly we found out a couple days ago they blocked it, and their reasoning was the cloud market. They never mentioned this before. Sony never complained about it, which brought this whole CMA issue to the forefront in the first place. What do you think about this decision from the CMA? We'll start with the Don.
I think it is completely irrational and makes no sense. Because if you look in the document they filed where they're talking about this nascent cloud market and their concerns, they were concerned about the revenue split for Call of Duty. That 100% of the revenue was going to go to Microsoft, 100% of the revenue for the battle passes were going to go to Microsoft. From these cloud systems or these cloud companies, they wouldn't get any revenue from it. But if you look at how these cloud companies work, you have to purchase the game, and they, through a subscription, allows you to access said game through their cloud server. Why would Microsoft give any of these companies a piece of the revenue for selling Call of Duty when you are buying it from Microsoft and they're just allowing you, giving you a platform to access the game? They didn't do anything to develop the game. They're not doing anything to help with the development and changing the coding or anything about the process of the game working to have it on their cloud service. They have a computer somewhere in some server farm that is just running Call of Duty on a computer, and then it's sending the data from the game through the cloud. They're not doing anything besides that.
We all know what's really happening here. We've been reporting it here since day one of Games Point Blank. The Don, Desert Eagle, I'm not gonna hold my words for this one. We've known what's happening here since the beginning of Games Point Blank last year. The CMA and Jim Crying Ryan are in cahoots. Everyone's golden boy, the UK man, Jim Ryan. CMA knows exactly what they're doing. Jim Ryan has been having secret dealings with these people for years. Sony has dominated the console market in the UK, and it's not gonna change. Those are very important people in very high places, and he is not gonna allow at all in his hometown, the hometown hero, like the Don likes to say, that anything happen that's not in Sony's best interest out there. So it doesn't even matter if it makes sense. It doesn't even matter what stupid, crazy excuses the CMA makes and comes out of their lying mouths.
Pleasa brought up a great point. Jim Crying Ryan, he told the CMA buddies, damn, you know, you had to admit what the truth was, but you still got my back, right? So CMA came out with this cloud excuse, you know, and it really makes no sense. Beyond the Don's point, cloud gaming supposedly represents only 2% of the current market. 2% of which Xbox is only 30% out of 100. So 2% of that would be 100% for Xbox. You know, it's such a small figure, and the CMA is like, no, we can't allow that to happen. Sony's winning 70/30 over there in the UK. CMA just wants to keep Sony strong out there, and they just came out with an excuse out of nowhere. Now, this caused Microsoft President Brad Smith to basically say, you know, it discourages tech innovation in the UK. Outspoken Activision EVP Lulu Cheng, she says the UK is closed for business. So to me, this means that it's going to cause certain companies, you know, not all, certain companies are going to say, if we want to do anything in terms of gaming in the UK, are the CMA gonna be trying to block us from doing things? You know, it looks really ugly. What do you guys think about that point?
Did you see what Brad Smith said after he made that statement, and then the prime minister made a comment about, no, this is not true. We're not closed for business. We're going to be the place for tech in Europe. Then Brad Smith comes out here and he says, you know, he's like a mobster. He comes out here, you know, Microsoft provides a lot of security for the government in Britain. It'll be a real shame if we suddenly have to stop updating Windows for you guys.
That's honestly beautiful. What do you think Jim Crying Ryan's gonna do about your security concerns?
Lulu Chang has been the best thing on Twitter ever since this Activision deal was first announced. Her scathing takes at Sony, PlayStation, and Jim Ryan have been a treat to watch, have been a treat to read, and have literally caused so much enjoyment in my life. I think Lulu Chang needs to continue. I think she is great for not only Activision, but for the gaming world in general. And I honestly think if this deal does not go through, that it might be what's best for gamers moving forward.
I've said it this whole time that I was 50-50 on this deal going or being blocked. Either way, I don't care. Either one of them is going to be a positive for Microsoft. It getting pushed through or it being approved would mean that we don't got to pay for Diablo because it'll be on Game Pass, which I'm very excited for. Possible changes to Overwatch 2's, like the Battle Pass, probably getting the premium currency instead of the old currency. You know, there's a lot of things that could happen after they're acquired by Microsoft. But on the other hand, I've also said if it gets blocked, it'll mean it's time for Microsoft to either put up or shut up with regard to their first party. They've been very lenient. We're about to hit 10 years since 2013 and everything fell apart. 2015, which is what I'd say was the last year of any real consequential first party release. We're 8 years in from there where we haven't gotten anything significant that lit the world on fire. They need to step it up. It's been too long of nothing and all these mediocre releases of games being either unfinished or unpolished or just not good enough, not up to snuff compared to the Sony releases. So either way, this is going to be good. They still got a chance. Depends on what the EU says. I think if the EU blocks it, then it's over. It's a wrap. They're going to pay their $3 billion. Hopefully for me, because I think this is the root of the problem, Phil Spencer gets replaced, because he was great for the brand at the time it needed in 2015 to get up to now. But now at a new console release and we still don't have games, like it's time to change him out. He did what he needed to do. He did a great job, but he's not the man for the job that's needed right now, and that's games.
Going back to the CMA talking about the cloud specifically, Xbox announced that they made a 10-year deal with Nvidia. You'll be able to play these games on Macs. You'll be able to play them on Chromebooks. You'll be able to play them on smartphones. They made a 10-year deal with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo for 10 years. The CMA used this as one of the reasons why they blocked it. They say they see no evidence that the Nintendo Switch can even run Call of Duty. So it's kind of like calling Xbox's bluff, saying you made this deal when you know it can't happen. What do you think about CMA saying that they have no evidence Switch can run Call of Duty?
I didn't know the CMA had a degree on how to develop games to know that the Nintendo Switch cannot have a version of Call of Duty running.
Oh, it's clear the CMA has no idea. They have no clue about the gaming business. We already knew that. Please, what are your thoughts on CMA's take on Nintendo Switch?
I think for a company that's literally relying their main argument on the fact that cloud gaming as what will hinder this purchase, they should know that the Switch has in fact been using streaming technology to get some of these so-called not possible games on their platform. And they've used this technology for a while now to play some of these games. But not only that, the Nintendo Switch is from 2017, CMA. That is a 6-year-old device that, for all intents and purposes, is a last generation game. And you should know, as well as all of us, that all of these rumors that have been going around talking about the next generation Switch, you guys should know more than anyone that this Switch is coming. And it will be able to play games. And that's exactly why the contract was signed, to play these next generation Call of Duty games on the new Switch hardware. We all know that it all stems from the fact that they and Sony love each other and will do anything to protect that bond.
The CMA says they're thinking about the future. They're thinking about innovation and this growing and evolving cloud market. They don't want Xbox to take over that market. Here's the thing. Xbox has been and is the company that is thinking about the future. They're the ones who've been innovating. They're the ones who are making this cloud market a thing. So for the CMA to say that their concern is that market and block Xbox from growing that market proves that they just want to keep Sony on top in the old ways of gaming. Xbox is going to appeal that decision. And what news comes next, we'll be here to talk about it. So until then, game on!
If you liked our content, mash that like button, and if you're new to the channel and want to see more content, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.